Hi, I'm Brian Greer. I'm one of the partners here at TaxConnex. And one of the topics that we often discuss with our clients and even prospects is Sales Tax Nexus. So what we're looking at is a presence or a connection that's substantial enough for a state to hold you accountable to their sales tax rules and their sales tax laws. It's really the foundation for any of the requirements that you may have. We've generally looked at this from a physical presence perspective, and a lot of times physical presence, it's pretty obvious. You might have employees in a specific state, you might have an office, maybe you even have inventory stored in a warehouse somewhere. Those are usually pretty obvious indicators of a physical presence, but there's also the scenario where maybe you travel into another state to perform services, or maybe you travel into a state just to solicit new business. Anytime you step foot into another state, you really have the opportunity or maybe the risk of creating a physical presence and creating Sales Tax Nexus. So that's the standard that we looked at, quite frankly, up until about 6 years ago, coming up on 7 years now, with the Wayfair court case. So South Dakota versus Wayfair really set a new standard from a Nexus perspective. And that new standard is what we refer to as economic Nexus. More and more businesses, more and more consumers started to purchase goods online, and those online retailers did not have a physical presence. And that's where this whole concept of economic Nexus came from. So purely or solely by selling into a state, a business can establish economic nexus. Most of the states have some type of variation of $100,000 of revenue or 200 individual transactions sourced into that state. There will be, again, exceptions like a Texas, California, New York that have a $500,000 threshold, but $100,000 is really just a good measure to think about. Now that's pretty simple and straightforward. However, economic nexus did not replace the physical presence standard. So rather than make this easier and more simple, it's just added a layer of complexity to the nexus evaluation. So when you're thinking about sales tax nexus, as I mentioned initially, it really is the foundational kind of building block. Nexus is always going to change, and it's something that somebody has to keep up with and track for you. And we do that for a lot of our clients here at TaxConnex.